What's happening, everybody? This is SuperiorFandom.com. You can. We're here every Wednesday. I'm with the Nate and Joe show. I'm Nate. This is my partner Joe.
What's up?
We got Jarrett Young over here.
Hi.
And we have a very special guest today joining us at the Down and Out, Mr. Christian Lopez.
Hola. Just to make something clear, I thought I was going on the Joe Rogan podcast.
The Joe Rogan. Unfortunately,
I didn't know it was Superior Fandom.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just go with it.
We just tell people that in order to get them in. It's it's.
You've been lied to.
You're on the show.
Oh, that's kind of how Jeremy put it. He's like, hey, my buddy.
Just be thankful that we didn't give you the Steve Watson treatment and take you out to Glendale with a shovel.
It's true. Take you out to pasture. We have a great show planned today. It's going to be Christian is an ex-ball player. You spent time in the minors with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
At the time, Devil Rays, right?
At the time, the Devil Rays, but then they got all holy and they kind of did away with the devil.
Yeah, the devil had to be taken out.
Yeah, little holy water.
Little holy water.
Get the devil.
Get you out, devil. If I remember correct, you were drafted in 2003.
Drafted in 2003 out of high school, yes.
And you're a Marlins fan. You were raised a Marlins fan.
Yeah, raised a Marlins fan, but I was a Braves fan for a long time because before the Marlins came along, the Braves were kind of the closest team we had, and they were always on TBS. So I got to watch them a lot. So I was a Braves fan as well, but yeah, once the Marlins came along. Yeah.
And you caught as well.
I did. Okay. So, Benito Santiago was one of my idols there for a long time. And
that's I wanted to ask who some of the biggest names that you've.
His son got drafted by the Giants, by the way, this year. Pretty
Poor
excited.
kid.
Really?
Poor kid.
Oh man, he's probably got a good arm.
Yeah, probably.
Damn.
Probably throw him out second base.
Yeah, I used to love that, man. Oh.
How did it feel as a Marlins fan in 2003 getting drafted to Tampa Bay and then seeing the Marlins win the World Series?
Oh, it was great, man. Just getting drafted by another team that was in Florida was cool altogether. You know, I mean, that was the next best thing besides being drafted by the Marlins. But I mean, either team, any team that would have drafted me that day would have been great. You know, that was one of the best days of my life, man. I was just waiting for that day for a long time, and when it finally came, it was awesome, man. It was really great.
You have your own, you've shown it to me, your own baseball card.
I do.
You need to show. Do you have it on you? You need to show these guys.
Yeah, I think I do have it on me. Do you want me
awesome.
to whip it out?
No one can see it on
my baseball card.
We'll
whip that thing out.
So I don't know. It's pretty cool. Like getting drafted by a team in your home state. That actually kind of reminds me of, Andrew Susek, the guy from the Giants, who's currently backing up Buster Posey. Grew up right in Roseville, California. Right outside of Sacramento, and now he's getting ready to play Game 7. But we'll talk about that later. Look at
that handsome man.
That's a sweet fucking baseball card.
Not good.
Chrome edition.
I like it.
Well played, and there's stats in the back of it too.
What's funny about that
you told me the story.
I didn't even know I had that baseball card. And one day a fan just came up to me and he's like, "Hey, can you sign this for me?" And I thought he was just going to show me like one of the team sets that I had seen that each minor league team does. And I saw that, and I was like, "Damn, where'd you get that?"
This is me.
Yeah, that's me. That's with a shiny background. I was like, damn, that's nice. And I just signed it, and I think he gave me like a few cards. He's like, yeah, I got some extras if you want some. And that's pretty much how I got them. I got like a handful of them, and like just from like fans and stuff. I never really got my own set.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. How many years did you spend in the minors? You were
6 years with Tampa Bay, and then I was released in 2009, and then 2010 till 2012 I played in the Atlantic League, which is an independent league, and up in Maryland.
That's where Juan Perez played. Up until maybe right around that same period when the Giants picked him up as well.
Juan Perez, that's with the Giants right now?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think
you'll find that everything with Joe always comes back to the Giants.
I could be completely wrong about that. But I do believe that he played in that independent league.
Yeah, that's one of the. I mean, that's the only one I played in, but supposedly that's the better one. Because there was a lot of ex big leaguers there.
Players,
it goes through the Eastern Seaboard, basically from Virginia up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's mostly. But they did add a team in Sugarland, Texas, a couple years ago.
Oh shit! Right.
Yeah, that's where Roger Clemens tried to make his.
And didn't Tracy McGrady recently try?
Yes,
and Tracy as well. I think he threw about 3 innings and then he retired.
Yeah,
Gary Gaetti cut his ass.
He was maxing out at 75, and they're like, "Dude, this isn't going to cut it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to throw at least 80."
Speaking of Gary Gaetti, he was our AAA hitting coach for a few years. Got to meet him, and then I got to play with his son Joe Gaetti.
Nice.
No shit.
Great couple dudes.
What
man.
position did Joe play?
Joe, I think he mostly outfield.
Outfield.
Yeah, like
Okay.
corner spots, but just great dudes, man. Like his son and Gary as well, just great people.
When it comes to, I got to ask this because I saw you sent me your bio. For your stint in the minors, you never got called up. The guys, but it seemed like you were, you were top prospect. You were, percentage-wise, you great catcher. Yeah. Was there? Were your coaches? I guess what I'm trying to say was it hard seeing guys around you that your peers being pulled up and you feel like your chance is coming and it just never comes. Like what's it like? What's the mentality of like a day-to-day life in the minors, I guess, as far as like when you see guys get is it discouraging or is it encouraging when you see guys get called up and ahead of you or behind? I mean, it's got to be rough.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, everybody's dream was in the minor leagues is not to be a life minor leaguer. You want to get to the big leagues at some point. So yeah, it's definitely a little tough when you see guys moving up that you think, damn, I think I'm as good as this guy. But that was the way I was thinking when I was there and when I was a lot younger, when I was a teenager, early 20s. But now that I look back, I was like, they obviously didn't move me up for a reason. There was, if a guy's producing and he's doing everything you want him to do, you're gonna promote him. So they obviously didn't do it for a reason. But when I was a kid back then, I was like, I would get pissed off, and I was like, oh shit, why aren't they moving me up? Yeah. But it's definitely tough to see. And even now, when I look at catchers in the big leagues, like some guy trying to steal second and he throws like a 2-hopper to second, it's like, come on, man, like really? That's why I have so much respect for Buster Posey, Yadi Molina. Like these guys can. Not only swing the bat, but guns. they're just good behind the plate, man. And I love seeing good because that was my forte. My forte was my defense. Where I struggled a little bit was my offense. Okay. But my defense was always solid.
Well, Buster Posey, we have the Buster rule in baseball now, so I can't say Buster's great behind the plate because he can't take a hit. So it's
so as a former player, when you watch ball now, like what is it that you look for, like? From catchers and other positions as well, that really kind of like sets them apart, or just like what as a player, like what is something that like maybe a guy like me or Nate that's never played before that we couldn't really see, like what is it that you see and you go, oh shit, like
this guy's for real.
That guy's really good.
You know what? I think in general makes a good baseball player is just being unselfish, man, being a good teammate. Like, I love seeing catchers go over and talk to their pitchers, like how they want to attack this guy, or after an inning be like, hey, man, that was a great inning, but, you gotta do this a little different. Just communication and just being a good teammate, not just going out there, getting 3 outs and coming back and getting ready to hit. Like, there's a lot of guys like that who I can't wait for my at-bat. No, there's other things you're doing when you're not hitting, you got to go catch, you got to call pitches, throw guys out.
Did you ever catch hothead pitchers that just thought that they were the shit and that whatever you had to say was complete, didn't matter because they knew what they were doing?
Yeah, quick little story. I had this one teammate, I won't name his name, but for some reason...
No, name his name. Name his name.
I don't want to throw him under the bus.
All right.
But it was when I was playing in the Atlantic League, and it was my first season there. And I've always been a good teammate. I get along. You know me now. I get along with everybody. I'm a nice guy. I don't treat anybody like crap. And this guy, for some reason, he would just get hit around every time he'd come up, and I guess he got pissed, and he thought he was like Roger Clemens or some shit. His shit wasn't that good. Okay. So for some reason, he thought that we were tipping signs to the other teams.
What?
He thought
his own catcher was
tipping.
Our
own middle infielder, second base, shortstop were tipping pitches to the other team.
Oh wow!
So he got pissed. So he told me one game in between innings, he's like, "Hey, don't because when there's runners on second, you got to mix up the signs so they don't relay the signs to the hitters." So he's like, hey, we're going to do this sign, but don't tell the infielders. If they want to know, tell them to come ask me. And I was like, are you serious? They got to know. That's going to benefit you. If he knows you're throwing a curveball, he's going to shift this way. If he knows you're throwing a fastball, he's going to shift that way. That's incredible. And he's just
so he was just they call him schizophrenic. And
they called him Johnny Dark Clouds for good reason. Yeah.
Johnny Dark.
Yeah. So it was unbelievable. And you can ask a lot of guys that I love all my teammates. It's tough for me to not like somebody, hate somebody, but this guy just rubbed me the wrong way. I wanted nothing to do with him.
So kind of as that continues to go, one thing that's curious to me is the minor leagues. No one, I'll put it like this: the casual baseball fan doesn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of baseball I feel like happens, as you said, like when you're conversing, like the strategy, like how do I get this guy out? How do I shift here? Like what sign do I put down here? And unless you're really paying attention at the highest level, you're not going to really know what the fuck is going on to assess a game.
Yeah.
And certainly there's even less people that pay attention to that in the minors as well. And I guess my question is, can you
Thanks, Tom O'Leary.
Can you tell us a little bit about the conversations that you would have off the field that would maybe be baseball or not baseball related, that maybe it would have helped, one of the guys ahead of you that you maybe would be a little bit resentful if they got called up. But, what's a conversation that you would have with one of those guys to, help them get out? How does that go? Because, baseball's a thing where you got to share a lot of information.
Because, your job is to get pitchers up.
When there's a lot of competitiveness for spots or what have you, some of that information, you know what I mean? You might not want to divulge all of that, and I just wonder kind of how that goes.
Well, first of all, most of the conversations we had off the field were about what bar we were going to go to.
I was going to say
and,
hookers and blow.
What cleat chasers, as they like to call them, we're going to hook up with that night. That was most of our conversations off the field. Because it's such a grind in the minor leagues. You're playing every day. You get maybe 2 days off a month. So when you're off the field, I love baseball with a passion, man. But when I was off the field, I wanted to just get away from it.
We're going to get more into those unspoken rules.
Yeah, we will. But,
there's a shit ton of those unspoken rules.
Yeah, but as far as helping a teammate out, man, you just, when you're in the minor leagues, like an affiliated ball, everybody's trying to get to the big leagues. So you kind of want to be a good teammate and help everybody out. But there's also a sense of selfishness when you're in affiliated ball, because everybody's looking out for themselves. Everybody's trying to get to the big leagues. It's not really so much chemistry and so much team as I got when I played my 3 years of independent ball. That's why I told you, Nate, that my 3 years of independent ball were the funnest, because there wasn't guys trying to outdo everybody else. It was just everybody was just having a good fucking time. Great camaraderie, great teammates. Everybody just want to play ball and have a good time, man.
Okay. How accurate is a movie like Bull Durham?
Oh, I love it, man. That's what I love about it.
I think it's the best baseball movie ever made. But I've always wondered how close to true a movie like Bull Durham is.
Oh, absolutely, so true.
The fucking bull. And it travels that far out of a fucking stewardess on it.
Is it weird that I watched that with no reason a week ago?
No, you don't have to have a reason to watch Bull Durham, man. It's Kevin. You don't have to have a reason to watch Kevin Costner in anything, man. Waterworld. That's all I'm saying. Waterworld.
It's all about Waterworld.
Webbed feet and gills.
The Postman.
Oh man. So let's get into that off the field stuff for a second. Just for the fuck of it.
Okay.
What are 3 rules in minor league baseball off the field that you could share with everybody?
Shit, 3 rules. Let's see.
I read a book called The Bullpen Chronicles. I don't know if I believe it all the way.
Okay, well, tell me what was in that, because I haven't read that, and I'll tell you if it's true or false.
There was one rule that said if you brought tail back to your room, you were fined $500.
I don't know about that, because there was a couple times I brought some tail back, and when you're in the minor leagues, you share a hotel room with your roommate, with a teammate. So there was a couple times I got, and we called it. We would call it showtime. If your roommate brought back a chick and got it banged her out right in front of you, would call it show. Yeah, I got some showtime last night. Yeah. So yeah, man. I don't know about that whole fining. I mean, if you brought a girl back and you were late to practice the next day or something, for sure you get fined. But I never heard about any fines for just bringing a girl back. Maybe bringing a girl in the clubhouse or I
think showtime is good enough.
Yeah,
that's
showtime,
pretty good.
Showtime.
Yeah, that's real.
That's pretty good.
All right, what else? What do you got?
At one point you said you had hand surgery. Mm-hmm. What happened to your hand? Did you?
There's this bone that I guess everybody has in their hand called the hamate bone, and it's a pretty common injury amongst baseball players. It's like a bone right here. It's not very big, but it sticks up this way. So a lot of guys when they hold the bat, they hold the knob right kind of on the end right here. And I guess that's what happened to me. I took a swing and I just felt this pain in my hand, and I couldn't hold the bat anymore. So I let 2 pitches go. I struck out that at bat. I came back the next inning, And on the warm-up pitches from the pitcher, I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't. Like, something's wrong.
So
and that put you out for that entire season?
Yeah, that's what put me out. And earlier that season, I had a high ankle sprain that put me out for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Then I came back from that, and then like a month or two after that is when that injury happened in my hand.
Do you think was it hard coming back from that injury? Was it?
No. I mean, I had a little pain, but I dealt with it in the off season and stuff. So no, when I came back, like I had a little pain there, but after a while it went away. Yeah, it was no big deal. Yeah.
So like, I want to get back to this off-field stuff.
Okay. I know. You're getting all worked up about it over there, Joe.
I had a couple friends of mine. I grew up in the Sacramento Valley. So we got to see the Stockton and Modesto, the Stockton Ports and Modesto Nuts, the high A ball team. And then the Sacramento River Cats, a AAA team for the A's, was also there. So I watched a lot of minor league baseball up there. And one of my friends was one of these cleat chasers, as you affectionately call them. And wonderful. But a lot of those guys lived with host families as well in the off season, and I just wonder if you could talk about that a little bit and kind of that's important, and kind of let people know how that goes.
Yeah, I never got to experience that up until I played in the Atlantic League.
Yeah.
All my years with Tampa Bay, we always had to find our own housing, find an apartment.
Oh, wow.
You didn't have host families?
Yeah, we didn't have. I mean, at least where I played, the teams that I played on never had host families. Just had to find our own apartments or whatnot. But when I went to the Atlantic League in Southern Maryland, we did have a host family. My host family there was, I mean, I can't say enough about them. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
pretty awesome.
I did hear, I guess I got lucky, but I have heard stories about like some host families who were like
horror stories,
kind of weird, and like after the games, you just want to come home and you don't want to do anything. You just want to unwind and lay back on the couch, maybe watch some TV, and have a few beers. And my whole family, I guess they just got it. They were really good about that. They never really came down. Like, they knew I was tired and stuff, so they wouldn't come bug me.
Were they big fans of minor league ball? Did they follow the team?
You know
or was
what?
it...
They weren't really fans of. They didn't really know too much about baseball. But when they started that team in Southern Maryland, they bought season tickets and started going to the game. So they started learning little by little, and they would ask me questions, and I would fill them in on all that stuff. So they learned quite a bit, with me living there and other host players living there and stuff. But yeah, they weren't huge baseball fans, but it was just something to do. They were kind of like an older couple, so they were retired, and they're like, let's get some season tickets to ballpark.
So what? Like, I mean, essentially, you rented a room out of their house, or like, how did that work?
Well, it doesn't even. I mean, I didn't even rent it. Like, they just pretty much put up their whatever room they have available for free. Like, you don't have to pay them anything. Yeah, that's what was great about it. Like, you get to save money on rent, and it was just, if you luck out and have a great host family, then
is that like an option thing? So like, if you're for lack of a better term, I don't even know if this is derogatory, but like if you're a bonus baby or something, like can you opt out of that and like live somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're a bonus baby, you got millions of dollars assigned. You can live wherever the hell you want. But there were some guys who were a little bit cheaper than others. They try to save every penny they can. So, there was. I had good experiences with my host family.
Right.
So I heard some stories about some that were a little weird, but nothing too crazy.
Nice.
I heard a couple cougar stories. That way. So,
hell yeah, dude.
Sneaking away from her husband.
That's what Joe wants to hear about.
Creeping into the bedroom.
Exactly. Yeah. What's going on?
Well, guys, we are live at the Down and Out. There for all 8 of you that are sitting at the bar. There's
there's 8. That's cool. No one left.
$4 shots of Sino tequila right now at the bar.
No one left.
Sino tequila. It's delicious stuff.
You can buy some tequila for the whole bar, and you won't even
absolutely.
break like $40.
It's incredible. You can buy a round.
Yeah.
We're here every Wednesday. Let's get into some something that's close to your heart right now, Joe.
Before we talk about,
he's so afraid to talk about the World Series.
Before we talk about the World Series,
you want to get back to cleat chasers? You want to get back to cleat chasers?
Can we? No, but actually, I want to switch gears off baseball for like 20 seconds.
Okay.
Todd Gurley got reinstated today by the University of Georgia.
He's going to go right now to Todd Gurley. Okay.
And
I think it's phenomenal because the Gators don't have to face Todd Gurley.
A potential Heisman candidate that got
not anymore.
They got paid $3,000 for signing some autographs. And
we all agree that that's horseshit.
I'm not here to debate right or wrong on that.
No, I think it's
I'm just saying,
horseshit.
like, whatever the suspension is, I think it's really, really fucking ironic that he's back in time for the Auburn game. I just think that that's such a publicity stunt.
Well,
and it's just the NCAA
first and foremost, hold on.
talking out of both sides of their mouth, and fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's what.
As long as he's not running against Florida, I'm A-okay with it.
This guy's from Miami. Are you a Canes fan or what?
You know what, man? I have to say, unfortunately, I'm not much of a big college sports fan.
That's okay.
But
We
there's
can live
one
with
thing that
that.
kind of
That's upsetting, Christian.
I
That's
know.
very,
I'm sorry,
very
man. I'm sorry.
upsetting.
I was talking about it today at work. Actually, I was like, I just like seeing the best of the best compete at the highest level. Nothing against college athletes. I mean, they're great athletes too. But I like seeing the best of the best, man.
All right.
But no, there's one thing that kind of grinds my gears. Like in Miami, there's people who like just root for the Canes just because it's cool. Just because it's cool to throw up a U sign, you know.
I want to talk get in. I do want to actually get into you as a Miami native and
Real quick,
how.
can I just one quick question?
What?
As
A Cleat Chaser question?
no.
Okay, real quick.
As a minor league baseball player, I mean, isn't there something cool about seeing the best of the best before they are the best of the best? I mean, that's why when I lived up north,
I agree with that. Same
that's very true.
I literally went to 20 AAA baseball games a season, and probably another 10 or 15 like single A games a season.
Yeah.
Because like it was fun.
Yeah.
Like on top of like minor league games, and like I sat and like watched baseball and like watched Gio
You said this
Gonzalez.
season?
Gio Gonzalez,
No.
ex-teammate of mine.
I watched Gio Gonzalez.
Gee, you play with Gio?
Yeah, in
Nice.
high school. It says it on the back of my card there.
Nice, right on.
I
Ex-teammate.
sat like literally like as close to you and I to Gio when he was charting a start in AAA. And like I mean I didn't know he was going to be a Gio Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know who the fuck
Yeah.
the guy was. I just like I thought that was fucking rad.
Oh, for sure.
And
Definitely.
like I don't know, like isn't like I don't know, that's also why I watch college sports. Like it's fucking rad to see the guy and be like, that's gonna be the dude. Like,
Yeah.
I just think it's
That's
pretty
true.
bitchin' seeing kids that show up on a school bus compete at the level that they compete at.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to talk about Miami with you.
Okay.
Growing up in Miami, I'm a Florida kid as well, but opposite end of I'm Pensacola, opposite end of the spectrum is from Miami.
Yeah.
By that he means Miami was awesome.
Miami,
Sorry.
Miami, and I think the first time I met you, I bagged on you a little bit because you said you were a Marlins fan. And I was like, I didn't even realize that there were Marlins. Like I had no idea that those fans.
There's not
existed.
many of them, but there are.
There's
not many of them. Yeah.
It just.
They show up when they're in the World Series. They show,
Exactly.
they show up in the World
Chasers
Series.
hang out at the Cleveland-
I guess my question is it infuriating for you as big of a baseball fan that you are, knowing that the franchise that you grew up loving, that's as young as it is, as young as a franchise as it is, that's won 2 World Series, to see how bad your fan base is. Is it infuriating? Like it would be so fucking infuriating to me to see if they're in a race and no one's going to show up until they actually finish the end of the race.
No, of course, man. Of course it is. I mean, but even the Dolphins, man. The Dolphins, such a franchise with such a history, such a winning history.
Yeah.
And they don't even sell out their games. And that's football, man.
The Dolphins had arguably the best quarterback that ever lived.
Exactly. So but that's how Miami fans are. They're fair weather fans. I mean, they come out when the team's winning. Just like with the Heat fans. I mean, people are Heat fans now that don't know a thing about basketball. They're just Heat fans because it's a cool thing to do now.
And they knew that LeBron was there at some point.
Yeah, and now LeBron's gone, and they're like, fuck LeBron. Fuck. He's the greatest.
LeBron.
Yeah, bro. He fucking brought you 2 titles, man. What the fuck?
I have one quick question on Miami before
All right,
we go on to the World Series. Or
Yeah, we're going to talk about the World Series.
Do Cleat Chasers hang out at the Clevelander or no?
Oh man, you know what? I didn't have enough money to hang out in the Cleveland there, man. So I was in a 1st round pick. I was a 6th round pick. So I was hanging out like at the little dive bars and stuff. So I don't know.
Perfect. That's more my style, anyways.
Yeah.
Joe, we are going to talk World Series talk.
What is there to talk about? It's Game 7.
Right.
There's no more talking.
Well,
I
guess there's a lot of talking to be done. Tim Hudson's going tonight, and
Yes, sir.
And how confident are you with Tim Hudson?
I mean, Here's the thing. I can't answer that in a yes or no manner.
How can you not answer that? It's an easy question.
Are you comfortable?
Are you comfortable with Tim Hudson being on the mound, or are you not comfortable with Tim Hudson being on the mound?
I have a very high confidence level that Tim Hudson will keep the Giants in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a grayish area.
Yeah.
Keep him in the game. Okay.
I have 90% confidence that Tim Hudson will keep him in the game.
What's the 10%?
That he won't.
That he's going to give up like 3 or 4.
That he won't.
You know what, man? If he's got that sinker, that two-seamer dialed in, and he keeps it low in the zone, man. I mean, there's not much damage. A lot of teams can't do. I mean, I don't care if he's 39 years old, man. If you're working that sinker down in the zone, man, I mean,
it's
gonna be tough.
No, and that's it too. And the thing that makes that 90% confidence make me want to like stick my chest out a little bit is he's 39 years old.
Yeah.
That guy's a down-home Southern motherfucker, and like he's got a lot of fucking.
But he's not a
fortitude.
backwoods racist hillbilly like Strickland, at least. There's that.
Do we really want to get into that?
I will get into that.
Okay. If you want to just get into Hunter Strickland, like that's a separate conversation.
It is, but right now we're talking about Timmy Hudson.
No, yeah. I think Hud will have a good game, man. And kind of to elaborate on what I was trying to say before, what I like about it and what gives me confidence is, sure, Hudson might only go 5 or maybe 6 innings this game, but what I dig is the Giants are managed by Bruce Bochy. And the Giants' bullpen is completely fresh. They've got Bumgarner available for 3 or 4 innings. Bruce Bochy literally has a clean slate to play the game and work it out and run his tactics and do his thing. And the Kansas City Royals are a really good baseball team. I've developed a ton of respect for that team. But they have a certain formula that it takes for that team to win. Their starters got to go 5. They got to get it to the bullpen with the lead, and then it's hold the fuck on.
Yeah.
And
they've got the 3-headed monster that's proven throughout the postseason that works. I just
think that if the Giants can put a speed bump into that formula, I don't know if Ned Yost is going to be able to adapt to get across the finish line ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And I don't know if that
world
means I'm confident in my starter or not. I don't
this World Series has been bizarre. There hasn't been one close game.
It's
been a
crazy.
blowout one way or the other every fucking game.
I feel like tonight's going to be a nail biter, man.
I think it has to be,
maybe
right?
it's just wishful thinking, but
Actually,
Game 7.
It's Game 7 of the World Series.
I hope it's not a blowout.
I agree.
I don't know.
No one wants to see a blowout. Either way,
I need to make one point before there was one close game in this series, and it was Game 3.
Game 3,
and
okay.
The Giants, and it was Tim Hudson and Jeremy Guthrie, the same guys that are going tonight. And if you really watch that game, I'll tell you this. I think it was lost because the Giants' left-handed specialist, Javi Lopez, left a ball out over the plate to Mike Moustakas, and he got an RBI single in the 6th inning, and the Royals held on.
Wait, hold on. Javi Lopez is pitching now? I thought he was a catcher for the Braves back then.
You went long time ago.
No, different guy.
And then the Orioles, and then
I wish. But no, I love Javi. By the way, that Javi Lopez.
I always dug Javi Lopez.
That guy could get an outside corner better than any catcher.
Oh man.
But anyway, I digress. I think Javi left a pitch out over the middle in the 6th inning, and Moustakas got it, and he knocked it in the game-winning RBI. And
where the fuck did Moustakas come from?
Man,
that's been a monster.
The story kind of wrote itself after that. But today, I think that 6th inning lefty is probably going to be Madison Bumgarner. And I don't know how that's going to happen again.
Speaking of,
Bochy says that Bumgarner he'll be available if he needs him, and that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Why not start him for 2, 3, 4 innings if he's available? If you need him, it's the last game of the season, regardless. Why not use him for 2, 3, 4 innings and then pull him and get to your bullpen?
I
don't understand why bring him in if you're down 3, 4 runs?
Because I think number one, I understand what you're saying. I don't necessarily think it's a foregone conclusion that he brings in Bumgarner when he's down, although that could happen.
It could happen. What does he have to lose?
The reason I think they don't start Bum and go 2, 3, 4 innings is that once the Royals get Bumgarner out of the game, that's going to give them an extra jolt of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't want those Royals getting an extra jolt of confidence in the 5th. I want them slamming the door on their confidence.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Choking their nuts up in the 5th inning, not the other way around.
But one thing about the Royals, man, that I love is they're just the epitome of that team that just goes to show you don't have to have the highest payroll like the Yankees always have. It's just like it's chemistry, man. You could just look at them. You could look at the dugout every time somebody scores, every time somebody gets a base hit. Everybody's on their fucking feet, man. Everybody's fucking cheering for everybody. There's no selfish players on that team.
And I will. Their fans are that city is just
man.
going
Absolutely,
crazy.
Man. Yeah, I mean,
right
especially
now.
if you haven't been in the World Series in over 30 years almost.
Yeah,
you know? You're gonna get up for that a little bit, but I just like to see that camaraderie and that chemistry, man. It's just you can. It's not even you can just see it. You can feel it too, man. It's just it's cool to see.
So Christian, like we touched on this a little bit, but I think it's rad that you mentioned the chemistry that the Royals had. And I mean I don't want to speak for everybody, but I attribute a lot of that chemistry to the back end of that bullpen and James Shields being the ringleader for that rotation.
Yep.
And
but James Shields, in my opinion, and I told you this before the postseason even started, that I thought James Shields he's an overrated ace. I don't think James Shields.
Sure, but he got him there.
Okay.
He got him there.
Yeah.
And that's more of what I'm talking about.
I mean, I think he's a good number 2 or 3 guy, but I just don't think he's a very good ace.
And that's fine and good, but more of what I'm talking about is James Shields and Wade Davis were integral parts to that team and the chemistry that ensued,
of course, good
and getting them to where they are currently, giving them the opportunity to take it all home this evening. And my question is, when a trade like that happens, and you give up a top prospect like Tampa Bay did, or like Kansas City did, in Will Myers. What does that do to like a minor league team or like you as a minor leaguer when you see like one of your top guys go to like bring over like a big league, like a legit like big league helper, like when a blockbuster deal goes down and the guy that nobody's heard of leaves your clubhouse, what does that do to you and your team?
Yeah, it's tough. I had a couple instances like that where guys got traded away, or like even when guys get released and stuff like that. It's always tough to see somebody go, but you know, behind every release, every trade, every deal, there's I mean, it's not something that just comes on a whim. You know, there's a lot of thought that goes behind it. There's a lot of scouting that goes behind it, and it's just like when something like that happens, you're kind of like taken aback a little bit at first when you first hear about it, but you just got to realize like there's a lot of research that went into these trades. It's not like they just happened like overnight. You know, there's like they scouted these guys, or they knew what they were doing.
They happened overnight. Some are like, what the?
Yeah, some of them it's just like it's like what the fuck's going on? But it's cool to
stop talking shit about Ned Coletti. I shouldn't say that. That's
okay. Fair enough.
That's below the belt.
But no, when it comes to the Rays, man, I don't know. I'm a little biased because I was part of their organization for a long time, but they really ran their organization well. The only thing that I'm sure a lot of guys would argue about is like guys would have like really good years and it kind of looked like they were big league ready, but they wouldn't move them up or wouldn't rush them up. Like a lot of guys, you know, like in Evan Longoria or something like that, where he was just crushing the minor leagues. Like, well, what else does he have to prove in the minor leagues?
He's got nowhere else to go.
But they know what they're doing, man. They bring their players along really well, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, they're really good. They have a really good farm system.
Well, we Dodgers did just get Andrew Friedman, who basically
I think that's a good pickup. Man.
Basically put the Rays into relevance where they're at now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's he's now a Los Angeles Dodger.
Yeah, and then Joe Maddon's gone too. That was wild, man.
By the way,
he opted out. That's crazy.
I haven't read into that, but I don't know, man. It seemed like he was pretty comfortable there. Like he liked his job.
That
was weird. I haven't read.
There were rumors floating that he was going to be but then be the next Dodger coach. But everyone, Andrew Friedman and Stan Kasten, all said that Dodger baseball's job is secure. So
before we close this, and I want to,
we're up against it. We are.
I just want to make one quick assessment, if you will, on the Andrew Friedman situation. Joe Maddon is such an awesome manager that he should have his pick of any job in the world.
I agree with that.
And there's a lot of people saying that he's a lock for the Cubs job. And, like, why wouldn't he be? Like, the Cubs have a lot of shit coming up the system, and Joe Maddon would man that squad
have a lot of young kids
and that town, like, very, very well. But I tend to think that the only question that comes to mind when related to Joe Maddon managing your baseball club is how much and where do I sign? And the longer that I see the Cubs not sign him, and I hear things like the Cubs organization isn't talking to Rick Renteria, and it gets, a little more sketched by the day, I still haven't completely thrown out the idea that Joe Maddon's going to come out here to L.A. with his buddy Andrew Friedman and make something happen.
I can't say that I'd be upset to see him. I just think that would be the biggest stab in the back you could ever give somebody once you've secured their job and once you've basically told them this is yours to lose.
I agree,
and then turn around and stick a knife in his fucking spine.
But how many times has that happened in the history of everything? Yeah.
I get it, it's business, but I mean, the Dodgers not advancing this year, and Joe somewhat disagrees with this, was not Donnie Baseball's fault. That wasn't on Donnie Baseball. That was there were other factors. The reason that we didn't, in my opinion, in the postseason, he couldn't have managed it any better. Mm-hmm. Yasiel Puig should not have started that last game, and I think if he had started, it wouldn't have changed the fucking outcome of it. Every day he put the best team out there possible for us to win the game, and we just didn't win it.
It just happens.
You can't put that on Don Mattingly. So I'm not upset to see Don Mattingly. They're going to let Don Mattingly finish out his contract that he signed, and that's through next year. I'm not saying that Don Mattingly's coming back 2016, but I guarantee Don Mattingly is going to be our manager next year. Joe Maddon might be a Cub.
Do you think, like, I mean, I don't know if you have any insight to this. I venture to say probably not. But I mean, would it shock you to see Joe Maddon reunite with Andrew Friedman out here?
No, not at all. I know they have a really good relationship. I know they have a really good relationship. And, I mean, I never got to play for Joe Maddon personally, but, I talked to him and I saw him talk to, the players and stuff like that. And what I got from him, he's like a great just player manager. Like,
he seems like he is.
Yeah, like guys just love playing for him. He's not a hard ass. Like he's if you have a problem, his door's always open.
He's a player's coach.
Talk to him. I mean, he's a great guy to play for. And I never heard anybody have any complaints about playing for him.
Rad.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, what do you got? I think we're
pretty good. We talked about doing some football, but I think we're
I think we did enough football with the Todd Gurley thing.
Yeah, I think we are good.
The Raiders are terrible and the Saints are average. What else is there?
The Dolphins.
They're average.
What the Saints showed against Green Bay, hell, we're elite. We're going to win our division with 6 wins. We're going to be the next Seahawks.
Are you a Saints fan?
I'm a huge Saints fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Huge Saints fan, huge Gator fan, huge Dodger fan, huge Kings fan.
You think the Dolphins make the playoffs this year?
I mean, my heart says yes. I hope so. But I mean, they opened up the season with a win against the Patriots. They're like, fuck yeah, man. They're at least good. Yeah, and then they fucking lose like 3 in a row. It's like, fuck, man. It's like the same thing every year, man. And everybody's waiting for Tannehill to be this promising quarterback that everybody said he was going to be, but he hasn't turned that corner, man.
I did just pick Tannehill up for a spot start.
Jared, what do you got?
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Quick
Jared,
question:
what do you got?
Is the tuna still with the Dolphins organization?
No. Fuck the two.
No, he took off.
Fuck
like
him
2 years ago,
and fuck Nick Saban and all those other guys that said they were going to be there for the long haul, and then they deserted us.
Nick Saban was the most amazing thing ever.
That's
He's like, I will never. I'm committed to this team. I will never leave this team. And like a month later,
son of a bitch.
Alabama.
As a Nick Saban fan,
I mean, I don't blame him. He got a ton of money. He got a few national championships. But fuck, man, don't lie to us. Just say if you're not happy here, just get the fuck out of here.
Leave, man.
As a fan of the Dolphins organization and having to live through that Nick Saban bullshit, you cannot at all be surprised if Joe Maddon ends up in Los Angeles. Not even a little. Oh, shit. Christian, thanks so much
thank
for
you,
doing
Christian.
Yeah,
joining
thank you
us.
guys,
Awesome.
man. I had a freaking great time, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you
guys so much.
We are Spirit Fan, Nate and Joe Show. Every Wednesday, we're at the Down and Out. Everybody, this is your last chance at the bar.
$4 tequila.
$4 Cino tequila. And it's real good tequila. No one cares about.
There's a few more
tequila.
people now, so it might run you like $50 to buy a shot.
Seriously,
for the whole
seriously.
bar, you know?
I'm just glad that everybody didn't leave this time, dude. We're getting better.
We didn't piss anybody off. Thanks. Great first show for me.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Come do it again.
Thanks
I'd
again,
love
brother.
to,
We'd love
man.
to have you again.
I'd love to, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. We're out.
Rad.